Shoppers use 500 billion plastic bags worldwide every year. Plastic water bottles, straws, and food utensils are washed ashore on the world's beaches, and residues of plastic are found in dead animals, human feces, and even in the Arctic ice. Most plastics takes hundreds of years to break down, thus it's all accumulating and damaging the environment that we live in. But there is a solution. Underneath the rocking blues of the ocean surface lie forests of green. Gently flowing in the currents, these organisms are the trees of the ocean. Stunning groves rise up from the depths and shelter thousands of species from the vast void of the sea. But for us humans, these organisms are so much more. They're food, animal feed, protection from storms, a livelihood, and a possible solution to pulling years of fossil fuel emissions out of the atmosphere. These wonders are none other than seaweed. And today we will discover why these plants, that are not actually plants, may be the key to unlocking a new way of farming that could be an essential tool to building a zero-carbon world where plastic is non-existent as we know it. A type of complex algae, seaweed grows in still water environments like the ocean and is already used to produce many everyday consumables. Red algae is currently harvested in large quantities to create vegetable gelatin for foods and cosmetic products. Some larger algae are used to produce medicines, fertilizers, and dietary chemicals. It is also claimed that seaweed may help defeat drug-resistant superbugs and help stop cows from burping. But with its proven sustainable properties, could seaweed also be the future of plastic? Sustainability in packaging has been a cause heavily pushed by concerned consumers due to the devastating effects that plastic packaging waste has had on the environment. According to Plastic Oceans, around 300 million tons of plastic is produced globally every year, with 50% dedicated to single-use purposes. By replacing current packaging materials with seaweed in markets such as food and drink, the world's packaging waste issues and recycling systems could be revolutionized. Seaweed aquaculture is the process of farming for seaweed. According to the Aquaculture Alliance, the growth of this industry is good for the economy and the ocean. Currently, large-scale seaweed aquaculture only occurs in Asian countries such as China, Japan, and Korea due to the continent's high demand for seaweed and food products. In particular, seaweed aquaculture is highly popular in China, where according to the Seaweed site, 59% of the world's seaweed production occurs. There are several ways to source seaweed in bulk. One method requires seedlings to be tied to monofilament fishing lines and positioned between mangrove coastline shrubs. The second method, which uses anchored floating cultivation lines, can be used for longline cultivation and deeper depths of water. Seaweed aquaculture in Asia requires a relatively low-scale use of technology, with a high level of labor. Over the years, seaweed professionals have tried to create high-tech methods to cultivate detached plants in tanks to reduce labor. However, this has not yet yielded successful results. Offering biodegradable and zero-waste benefits as well as being edible and nutritious, seaweed packaging offers benefits that many other packaging materials cannot. Seaweed grows within 45 days. It can be harvested straight away and does not require any fertilizer, making it more readily accessible than corn or sugarcane, which requires agricultural land in order to grow. To make seaweed packaging, the raw material is collected and fermented without any chemical processing. The yeast residue can then be converted into animal feed. Socially responsible enterprise EvoWare created its seaweed packaging to replace currently non-recyclable sachets. EvoWare's work combines two core values: innovation and collaboration. Its mission is to create innovative solutions from seaweed to solve the plastic waste issue while increasing the livelihood of Indonesia's seaweed farmers. As well as aiming to combat plastic waste, EvoWare also intends to reduce carbon emissions and maintain seashore cleanliness. The Indonesian startup also credits increasing income and improving well-being as its two main reasons in championing the seaweed farmer cause. With 5 of the 6 poorest provinces in Indonesia producing seaweed, the company stated that its concerns regarding the livelihood of seaweed farmers stem from a large volume of seaweed production not being used or in oversupply, as well as most farmers being poor due to long marketing chain and loan sharks. In other sectors, seaweed packaging has made its debut into the sports world with the Uho drink capsule by Skipping Rock's lab. Initially distributed for a trial period at last year's Richmond Marathon, the capsule was later distributed at this year's London Marathon. With its waste-free properties, UHO drink capsules seem as though they could be a revolutionizing solution for packaging. However, the capsule lacks noticeable qualities that its bottle counterparts have. Firstly, the capsule is only equipped to quench an instant thirst, as it only holds the equivalent of a large gulp. Secondly, it is not as durable and can burst under pressure, meaning that it cannot be easily carried around by consumers. For the format to be adopted more widely, these issues would need to be addressed in order to improve user-friendliness. With more and more companies pledging to go green and look for innovative ways to package their products, Seaweed packaging could grow to become a worldwide source for small-scale packaging solutions. In terms of the large-scale products, Seaweed may not work due to cost, labor concerns, and durability. In the UK, research into seaweed aquaculture has expanded with particular focus into algal biofuel. However, many industry experts claim that this could be a slow-burn effort due to farm-running costs, regulations, licensing requirements, and volume production. Regardless of the issues, seaweed aquaculture could expand into the nation's packaging developments in the distant future. A number of countries have recently introduced policies to encourage the use of degradable plastics and recycling to minimize plastic use. The UK will ban all sales of single-use plastic, including plastic straws and cotton swabs, next year. Cities in the US have declared war on plastic straws. Seattle has launched a campaign dubbed Strawless in Seattle, while New York is considering a ban on plastic straws. In 2017, Kenya introduced the toughest plastic bag ban with a penalty of 4 years in jail or a $40,000 fine. Seaweed farming is growing in popularity across the world for a myriad of reasons. Some farmers grow them to serve demand for edible seaweed in a wide range of dishes like sushi, while others grow them for animal feed, supposedly aiding the health of livestock guts and drastically reducing the methane emissions of meat as a result. Still, others are spurred on by seaweed's potential to sequester substantial amounts of carbon in ocean sediments and the deep sea. It is here with carbon sequestration that we'll begin to unpack the benefits of seaweed groves. Just looking at wild seaweed, which is an umbrella term for thousands of species of large algae, scientists have discovered their immense capacity to draw carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and lock it back into the earth or deep ocean. One research paper estimates that microalgae sequesters roughly 173 teragrams of carbon per year globally. So to put that into perspective, that is the equivalent of sequestering the emissions of 8.65 million people living in the United States each year. However, it is impossible to stop plastic use. So far, plastic is the most convenient and versatile material for various purposes and brings huge benefits to our lives. People's continued dependency on plastic has encouraged the rise in its production. The plastic industry is huge and is expected to continue expanding. In 2014, the plastic packaging industry was valued at a US $270 billion, and this is projected to increase to $375 billion by 2030. One way to control plastic use is through recycling. However, things are not as easy as expected. Plastic products come in 100 or more varieties. These variations are so huge, it is difficult to sort them out for the recycling process. Therefore, only about 9% of plastic waste is actually recycled. Around 12% is incinerated, and the rest, it mostly ends up in landfills or the ocean. Bioplastics offer an alternative. Bioplastics are commonly made from plants or bacteria and more environmentally friendly as well as sustainable. Global bioplastic production capacity will increase to 6.1 million tons in 2021 from 4.2 million tons in 2016 due to people's increasing awareness of eco-friendly products. People have started using bioplastics in their daily lives, with uses ranging from shopping bags and disposable housewares to electronics. Big brands such as Coca-Cola, Heinz, Unilever, Nestle, Danone, and Nike have started using bioplastics for their packaging. The materials commonly used to produce bioplastics are corn, sugarcane, vegetable oil, and starch. However, using these ingredients for plastics has raised some concerns. First, the production of bioplastic requires a huge investment in the land, fertilizers, and chemicals. Second, the use of these plants for plastics will trigger a competition between plants for food versus plants for plastic, which could lead to food price hikes and a food crisis. Seaweed is by far the best candidate for bioplastics, as it manages to answer both of the challenges above. First, it is cheap. Unlike other terrestrial plants, seaweed can grow without fertilizer. It does not take up huge space on land as it grows offshore. By using seaweed for bioplastics, the production of agricultural commodities for food will remain intact, so no food price hikes or a food crisis. It is safe to assume that seaweed packaging won't be the ultimate answer to the world's packaging needs, but with its promising properties, growing popularity, and companies such as EvoWare and Skipping Rocks Lab pioneering the material, it could be only a matter of time until seaweed becomes more widely adapted in the packaging industry.